Right now, Madison Metro reducing services for some bus routes, causing delays, the impact on passengers, and when it could be restored.
Plus, we continue our look into the investigation results of the Sun Prairie School District, what a parent is saying about the findings.
And later, Wisconsin is dealing with a shortage of foster families, how a new rule could help with the shortage. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We begin tonight with a developing story. Right now, a former dean of students at Sun Prairie West High School is charged with 15 child sex crimes.
Now, yesterday, we learned more about how staff responded to Robert Gilkey-Messegeyer's charges that took place at Sun Prairie West.
And that information has come from an independent investigation. Our Tanisha Shaw talked to someone and mentioned in that report. Tanisha?
Hi, Eric and Sarah. This investigation is more than 20 pages long. I spoke exclusively to a parent of a student that is highlighted in this investigation. The report says that a student was suspended for spreading a rumor about Robert Gilkey-Messegeyer, and they said he was inappropriately involved with other students, crimes which he ultimately was charged with. According to the report, in November 2024, Tommy Bell's then 16-year-old daughter was in school when she, quote, loudly said that the former dean of students at West High School had an inappropriate relationship with a student. The former principal at West decided that they should suspend the student, who did not want to be named, for 2 days. The student's dad told staff members in 2024 that they were making a mistake.
That hurt as well, just because the adults in the school district are supposed to be there for our children and protect our kids, and it just seems like they failed to do that for her.
The investigation also reports that Bales said the district was making a mistake in 2024 again, and I reached out to all 7 of the school board members, and I also reached out to Sun Prairie superintendent, but nobody had availability to talk to me today.
All right, Tanisha, thank you. Now to Minnesota, where federal officials say an ICE agent killed a woman in Minneapolis this morning. The incident happening as Minnesota faces an immigration crackdown. And now we want to warn you, some of this video may be disturbing. ICE agents were in the neighborhood for an enforcement operation when a 37-year-old woman stops her vehicle in the middle of the road. As federal officers approached her vehicle, she reverses, tries to drive away. That's when witnesses say shots are fired at the car, which then crashes into the side of the road. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says agents were acting in self-defense, but the mayor of Minneapolis is now demanding that ICE leave the city.
Were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust.
The FBI is investigating the shooting. The ACLU of Minnesota is calling for an immediate and transparent investigation into that shooting.
We now know the identity of the 2 people who died in a house fire in Lafayette County yesterday. According to the sheriff's office, Mark and Tammy Curtis died from smoke and soot inhalation. The 2 were originally from South Wayne and had recently moved to the town of Shullsburg to this home on Dunbarton Road. The cause of the fire is undetermined, but there are suspicions of wood burning, heat, and electrical issues at that house. Well, Madison's Metro Transit bus system is temporarily reducing service on 2 of its routes to allow for repairs.
That's Route A1 and Route B. They'll be reduced to 30-minute service throughout the day. Metro says scheduled maintenance and mandatory inspections along with unexpected fleet repairs. That's all led to a temporary shortage of buses. News 3 Now's Jalen Banks is live at one of those impacted stops in the city. Jalen?
Eric and Sarah, this is just the latest of challenges that Metro Transit has faced. Last year, a nearly $6 million budget shortfall forced the city to more than double its transit subsidy, as well as implement emergency spending restrictions. Now, as of fall of last year, Metro Transit is under new leadership, and these longer wait times are part of the growing pains that Metro Transit hopes will lead to a more efficient BRT. This week, Metro Transit announced that it will be temporarily reducing its services to routes A1 and B. Now, for the routes impacted, service times will go from 15 minutes to 30 minutes due to the bus shortage.
I think it would be more so when it is colder. Like last week, it was pretty cold, and I was taking bus D to go take care of someone's cat, and missing the bus by 15 minutes could mean like another half an hour wait. And in the cold, that's not good.
Metro says scheduled maintenance, mandatory inspections, along with unexpected fleet repairs have caused a temporary shortage of the buses. For one resident, they say they have not experienced much of a difference.
I have been very lucky so far. Most of the buses are running on time.
However, for Zalanda, a Southside resident, she feels that part of Madison is getting the short end of the stick.
Whenever something happens with the Madison Metro system, it affects the South Side. I catch the B bus, and every time there's something, even before the rapid thing came about, the B bus was always something. Either they were going to cut out the services, or then we had to walk over to the transfer point. It took it out the neighborhood. There's not even a bus that goes in our neighborhood anymore. We got to walk to Park Street to catch the bus.
Now, just behind me is one of those stops on South Park Street that Zalanda had mentioned just now in the story. Just to my right is the Black Business Hub on Madison South Side, just further emphasizing some of the issues that she and others may be facing here in the area. Now, if you at home or you know somebody that is a rider and they're being impacted, we have resources on our website right now on channel3000.com that detail some of the changes going on with BRT. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. Reporting live on Madison South Side, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, thank you so much, Jalen. In other news, the city of Stoughton will be looking for a new police chief as the current chief is set to retire. Chief Daniel Jenks is officially retiring February 6th. He has served as the police chief since 2022, bringing with him 34 years of law enforcement experience. Those interested in applying for the position should visit the city's website.
Some heavy rain expected tomorrow. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Alex Harrington, for the latest. Alex.
Yeah, heavy rain, not heavy snow. You'd be thinking it'd be heavy snow for the 7th of January. We're expecting anywhere between 1 to 1.5 inches of rain, really lining up from Platteville to Lone Rock, up towards the Dells, up towards Marquette and Green Lake counties, but even 3/4 of an inch to an inch in Madison, 3/4 of an inch in Janesville, 3/4 of an inch off towards the west, towards Viroqua. It will be a heavy, I'm not going to say soaking rain, because we do have frozen soils out there. So some of that water is going to run off and cause some localized ponding of water is a concern that the First Warn weather team has. And some river ice jams, they can't be ruled out as well with as mild as we've been today and with the water that we're putting into the watershed. But I know our farmers specifically, they really want this moisture because we are dealing with drought conditions in southern Wisconsin, or at least parts of the area. Now, after our heavy rain, after a mild night tonight, we do still have accumulating snow in the forecast. When I come back in a little while, we will look at that drought monitor to show you just how dry conditions are in parts of southern Wisconsin and the very latest on that accumulating snow chance on Saturday. That's all coming on up.
All right, Alex, thank you. Dane County facing a shortage of foster families, but a new monthly payment increase and a rule change could help.
Our political reporter Ellie LaLiberte joins us now in the studio. And Ellie, what does Dane County's shortage look like here?
Well, Sarah, Eric, before the pandemic, Dane County ran about 200 foster homes, but since then, it's just about half of that. However, according to the State Legislative Fiscal Bureau, increasing monthly payments for foster families may help.
People don't get into foster care for the increase of the money.
Erin Salzwheel is the foster care coordinator for Dane County.
While the stipend is, is great, it's not one that really covers much.
The cost of raising a child has significantly gone up, and our rates necessarily haven't met that need.
According to John Elliott with the State Department of Children and Families, Wisconsin has traditionally had one of the lower foster care payment rates in the country.
We are also still one of the lowest, like in our Great Lakes region.
But Elliott says every little bit helps. In the new year, the monthly payment for those fostering children up to age 5 went up from $441 to $452, a 2.5% increase.
So 2.5% is a little bit lower than we've seen in previous years, but it's pretty, again, standard.
In addition to the slight rate increase, Wisconsin is pulling back red tape for licensing.
Relatives, though, can get additional financial support if they get licensed. And there's been a lot of barriers for relatives to get licensed in the past.
In December, Governor Tony Evers approved a new administrative rule that would remove some of those barriers, allowing those individuals to get licensed easier and get more money.
Youth and children that come into care now can go into a home of a relative or a like relative, someone who's known them before, and they can get the same rate that a foster parent would get to care for the child, care for their needs, and get access to the same benefits. So it's a win for the child and it's a win for the families we serve.
Now, Dane County is specifically looking for foster parents for teens, sibling groups, and children with higher support needs. If you're interested in helping, you can go to dcdhs.com.
Ellie, thank you. Just ahead, the Trump administration unveils a new food pyramid. Details on the new recommendations.
Plus, when fraudsters come calling, does your family have an action plan? How to keep your financial information safe and scammers at bay.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. The Department of Health and Human Services and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are releasing new dietary guidelines today. It is a move that happens every 5 years based on the latest research. The widest part on top lists fruits and vegetables along with protein, dairy, and healthy fats. Some experts argue people should eat less red meat and dairy than the new pyramid implies, but others praise the guide. Associated guidance ups the daily protein recommendation for many people based on body weight. At the bottom of the pyramid are whole grains. HHS suggests consuming less sugar, less alcohol, and ultra-processed foods.
Well, over the past 5 years, losses from imposter scams targeting Americans 60 and older have skyrocketed. And interestingly, instead of relying on expensive monitoring services, experts out there say the most effective defense against financial fraud is open, ongoing conversation within the family. There are 3 critical questions that every family should be able to answer. 1, do you know all of your family's account numbers and have access to them? 2, do you understand what property and investments your loved ones own and who are the beneficiaries? And finally, do you all know where the household income is deposited? And finally, if you're concerned about identity theft, a credit freeze is your strongest tool.
It restricts access to a credit file, making it harder for identity thieves to open new accounts in your loved one's name. You'll need to enact the freeze at all 3 major credit bureaus, online or by phone.
And it's easy to do. Just remember, with a freeze in place, no new credit can be opened. So if your loved one is applying for a loan, you'll need to temporarily lift the freeze and then put it back in place once the process is complete.
Still ahead, Unity Point Health Meritor sets a new record.
Plus, a high-speed chase in La Crosse ends in a major crash. It's a shocking video, and we'll tell you what happened next.
And more rain is on the way. Alex returns with how much we can expect when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. Take a look at this. Shocking video captured the moment a La Crosse man crashed his car into a Quick Trip gas pump following a high-speed chase. The vehicle hit a curb and became airborne over a retention pond, landing on the edge of the Quick Trip property. It was propelled airborne again before hitting a gas pump and a canopy support pole. So witnesses removed the person from his vehicle, brought him inside the gas station to treat some facial wounds, and then after trying to flee on foot, he did eventually surrender to police.
Heavy rain may be on the way to southern Wisconsin. Alex, when can we expect this to start?
Oh, right around noon to 1 o'clock, according to Future Track, showing showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two, entering areas from Platteville over to Mineral Point, Monroe, Madison, and areas off towards the south and towards the west, becoming widespread throughout the day. And notice a lot of the oranges and the yellows here. A couple scattered thunderstorms are a possibility as well as we go into Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Not expecting any big heavy snow on the backside of this, but a little mix of that wet snow building on in just behind here before that weather system number 1 that we're keeping an eye on moves out of the area. If we do get any snow accumulation, it should be less than an inch in southern Wisconsin, but an inch to an inch and a half of water. We are expecting that band, the heaviest band from Platteville up to Lone Rock, up towards the Dells, Marquette and Green Lake counties, but on either side of that band, anywhere between 3/4 of an inch and an inch of water, and we'll take any bit of water that we can get in southern Wisconsin. Here's why. We have moderate to severe drought conditions for Madison and areas off towards the south and west, and practically the entire WIC viewing area experiencing drier than normal soil conditions. And even though we have frozen grounds right now, this water will struggle a little bit to get down into the watershed because, of course, the frozen ground's in place. But our farmer friends will always say we'll take any moisture that we can get, whether it's in the form of water or in the form of snow. But keeping an eye on the potential also for some ponding of water and some river ice jams can't be ruled out with our mild conditions and the amount of rain that we're expecting. Then alert day set, or I should say impactful weather set number 2 here. That's for accumulating snow and breezy conditions for southern Wisconsin Saturday going into Saturday night. We started seeing this weather system late late last weekend. We put out our alert day heading early this week, and it still looks like we are looking at accumulating snow and breezy conditions on Saturday. Let's explain here. Madison and areas to the south, area of low pressure brings snow showers developing right around 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. Much of the state of Wisconsin seeing snow throughout the daytime on Saturday, but some of the latest changes are focusing the heavier area of snow from, let's say, Wisconsin Rapids back to Eau Claire over to Green Bay. So just a little pivot to the north with our weather system brings the chance of a little bit less in the way of snow for southern Wisconsin. Still expecting some accumulation and breezy conditions with northwest winds throughout the day on Saturday, just perhaps a little less in the way of snow than what we were earlier thinking this week. But that weather system's track is always key for who sees the higher amounts of snow. So let's break that down. Better moisture looking to set up north and east of Madison, tracking lower amounts right now in southern Wisconsin, but the key is the track to moisture and snow total. So stay tuned. The First Warn Weather Team, the next 48 hours will have a good indication by the time we get a little bit closer to that weather event. Where is that band really going to set up? Will it set up in central and northeast Wisconsin, or will it also include southern Wisconsin? Nonetheless, rain heavy on Thursday, ending as a little wet snow Friday morning, and then our accumulating snow on Saturday with alert day conditions. Following these two weather systems, our temperatures stay at or just slightly above normal for the early part of next week, and not seeing any big storms in our horizon. But we got two weather makers to get through before the quieter conditions move in.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex.
Yep.
Unity Point Health Meritor says they've recorded a record number of births last year. Believe it or not, 5,205 babies were born there in 2025. Of those births, 112 were twins or triplets. The hospital has been named a top hospital for maternity care by U.S. News and World Report in each of the last 3 years.
It is National Bobblehead Day. According to the National Day calendar, the collectibles themselves go back more than a century. They then became popular in the U.S. in the 50s and 60s and are more commonly used now in sports promotions. Milwaukee's National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum is credited for dedicating January 7th in their honor. And the toys also are known as bobbers or nodders. That Packers Viking, yeah, that was kind of a nodder the other day. You got your.
He's got one.
Right there. Okay.
It's Dom's actually on the way out here. I broke his arm off.
Lost all value.
The National Bobblehead Museum sent this one to me, so I had to bring it out. And speaking of the Packers, do they want to play the Bears in the first round of the playoffs, or does it add too much to the equation? Well, Dobbs, not him, but his fellow teammates will answer that next on News 3 Now.
Now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
Because I just could not understand. I couldn't get my head wrapped around what was happening here. I mean, we were clearly being sabotaged.
Una Vajagic's rise to stardom helped catapult Wisconsin volleyball to the Final Four, and going forward, the path was cleared for her to take over the program. So when she entered the transfer portal, Kelly Sheffield was just as shocked as we were. The head coach claims that Una's agent told her that she was making less money than her teammates, something that Sheffield adamantly denies, and that the agent planted the idea in her head that her role wasn't big enough and that she should leave Madison.
It was emotional because of somebody that seemed to be having such a perfect fit and having so much fun, and on her way, really on her way. She was thriving, she was having a blast, and then all of a sudden, within 48 hours, that it's become almost a totally different human. I had a really tough time getting my head wrapped around that.
Well, you probably already know that no two teams in NFL history have played each other more than the Packers and the Bears. But did you know that they've only met 2 times in the postseason? And that's why, if you're anything like me, this week is just a big waiting game. I'll be in Chicago on Saturday night, which is where the Pack say the only place that they would want to be.
I definitely wanted to play the Bears. I mean, if I had my pick, for any team, it would have definitely been the Bears. I want my get back for sure. We get a chance to put the Bears season to bed. And that means a lot to us for sure.
A lot of the guys took that hit that he took a little personal, So I'm not saying we're gonna go out there and play dirty or nothing like that, but we definitely gonna defend our brothers.
Well, Jordan Love has not played since that injury that Jacobs was talking about, but Love said today that he doesn't think his time off will impact his play, a sentiment that Matt LaFleur echoed. And speaking of things that I can't wait for, Friday night, right here on News 3 Now, join Kirsten Sims and I on the Wisconsin Huddle. The Olympian was a whole lot of fun.
Forward to that, Andrew. Thank you. And Alex is back. Final check of the forecast.
Yep, we've got water and we got ice and snow in the forecast. First, the water part, 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain expected Thursday afternoon and evening. Some ponding of water. Can't rule out some river ice jams. And then we turn that all over to snow as we track alert day conditions for Saturday going into Saturday night. You want to join us tonight at 10. We'll have the very latest with Future Track on both of those weather systems.
All right. Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Coming up next is Entertainment Tonight.
And be sure to join us again for News 3 Now at 10 o'clock. Have a great night. We'll see you then.